All right, good evening, good afternoon, wherever time it is, wherever you are, namaste. My name is Kalindi and welcome to this online yoga class. So in this session that I'm going to guide you guys through, this will be a really nice practice to do if you're feeling a little bit tired. So maybe you didn't sleep so well last night, maybe you've had a really busy day, maybe there's a lot going on for you right now. So this practice will start off fairly gently. We'll spend a bit of time doing floor work and we'll gradually work our way up into standing and do a few standing postures before we come back down onto the ground. So I hope you enjoyed this session. So start by lying on your backs. Make your way down when you're ready. And we'll start in Shavasana. So just take your hands out a little distance from the hips, walk the shoulders away from the ears, and just let your feet fall out towards the edges of your mat. Let your eyes gently close. And here just let the ground support your body. Feeling the mat and the ground underneath the back of your body. And then start to notice your breathing, your inhale, your exhale. Feeling this breath enter and leave the body, in and out through the nose. Then from here, just bring your hands and place them onto your belly, and let's inhale out into the hands, feel your belly rise. And exhale, letting the belly fall. And then again, inhale, belly rises. And exhale, relax back. Take 2 more breaths here. And then after that exhalation, let's slide the hands to the ribs and start to breathe out into the ribs. So inhale, feel the hands expand out to the sides. Then exhale, feel them soften back in. And then again, inhale out to the sides. Then exhale, softening back. 2 more breaths here. And then with that exhalation, bring the hands to the chest now. And inhale, feel your chest rise. And exhale, relax back. Inhale, expanding again. And exhale, relaxing back. 2 more breaths. Alright, keep one hand on the chest and bring the other hand back down onto your belly. Let's start to link these 3 breaths together. So take an inhale, feel the belly rise. And then feel this breath move all the way into the chest. Chest rises. And then exhale from the chest all the way back down to the belly. And then continue to breathe in this way. Inhale, feeling that breath rise up. And exhale, letting that breath descend. If you're comfortable with this breathing, feel free to release your hands back down to the sides. Just let this breath flow easily and steadily. Alright, then when you're ready, if you haven't fallen asleep, gently opening your eyes, and let's start to bring the right knee in towards the chest. Clasp your hands around the front of the shin there and exhale, just guide that knee in a little closer towards your body. If you're finding this is an intense stretch, then just keep that left foot in contact with the ground. Otherwise, you can keep your legs straight. So just gentle way to open up the back of the hips and the glutes. One more breath here. And then with your inhalation, release the hands. Take the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, but keep a bend in the knee, a half happy baby position. So take your right hand and reach around for the outside of the foot. If you can't reach the outside of the foot, then grab the ankle or maybe grab the back of the knee. And then just gently pressing your foot down, letting your knee move toward the ground. And you can just let your left hand rest out to the side. Now this just gets much deeper into the back of the hips and the glutes there. So breathe nice and steadily. So if you are feeling tired today, then it's best just to gently work with our body. If we don't have much energy to give, then let's nurture ourselves. Let's start to cultivate more of that energy. All right, then from here, if you haven't already, take the left sole of the foot to the ground, release your right hand and just guide the ankle to the top of the knee there. Press the right knee away and then picking up the left foot and reaching around and grabbing a hold of the front of the shin or maybe the back of the knee. Now, if you do already feel enough of a stretch with the foot on the ground, then just stay in this position here. So this just changes that stretch slightly. You may feel that a little more to the belly of the back of the thigh there, to the back of the hamstrings. You may also start to feel it a little more around the side of the hip as we've changed the position of the leg. All right, one more breath. Now, release your hands from here. Listen carefully. We're going to keep our legs in exactly this position. All we are going to do is just release the legs in this position down towards the left. So your left leg is now lying on the ground and the right sole of the foot is in contact with the ground. Now you're going to press your left hand down onto your right foot, so you pin that foot down. Then you're going to press the right knee away from the chest, so that knee is now pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Your right arm comes out in line with the shoulder, and you're going to pull back and down through your right hip, so you get a nice outer hip stretch here. You may also feel that down through the thigh, the side of the thigh and the ITBs. So a couple of breaths. All right, one more breath. And then with your inhalation, release the left hand, lift your legs back up to center and take the soles of the feet to the ground. So hopefully that right hip is feeling nice and open already. All right, picking up the left foot, hands around the front of the shin there, drawing that knee up towards the armpit. So not straight into the chest, you're bringing it a little more out to the side of your body, up towards the armpit. Start to extend out through your right leg if you need to increase the stretch there. Otherwise, sole of the foot can stay to the ground. All right, a couple of long, deep breaths here. Really staying in tune with your breath as we move through this class. This will help to revitalize your body and bring lots of fresh oxygen to every cell that makes up your body. All right, releasing your hands. Take the sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Reach your left hand around, grabbing the outside of the foot or maybe your ankle or the back of the knee, and just rest your right arm out to the side. So you can breathe down into that stretch, letting that tension gently release. All right, taking 2 more breaths here. All right, then releasing your hand, we're going to bring the right foot back in contact with the ground. That left ankle will come to the top of the thigh or the knee there. Pressing your left knee away. Either staying right here if you're getting a stretch already, or picking up your foot, threading your hands through and around, grabbing the front of the shin or the back of the knee. So start to press that left knee a little further away whilst you draw the right knee in. This gets nice and deep into the back of the thigh there. So some long, soothing breaths here. All right, taking 1 more breath. And then releasing your hands. Now exactly the same thing as what we did on the first side. Legs stay in this position. All we are doing is tipping them down towards the right. So right leg is now on the ground and that left sole of the foot is on the ground. Then pinning that foot down with your hand, reach your left arm out to the side and then start to move the knee away from the chest, trying to get that kneecap or the top of the knee there pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Then you can pull back slightly through that left hip to intensify that stretch a little bit more. This side's feeling a little bit more intense than the other side. So make sure you're breathing it out, especially if you are tight through the ITB. All right, 1 more breath. And then with your next inhalation, bringing your legs back to center and release the soles of the feet to the ground. Let's bring the feet together, knees together, both arms out to a T. And we're just going to roll the knees down from side to side, like they are a windscreen wiper. So you can take this movement as slow or as fast as you need. This is also a nice way to start to gently release through the lower back. And release along the spine. All right, then the next time you come over to your right side, roll all the way over and make your way up into a sitting position. Actually, let's come all the way over onto hands and knees. All right, let's take the knees underneath the hips, the hands underneath the shoulders. And let's just start some gentle cat-cow movement just to bring some movement along the spine. So inhale, gently lifting up, opening through the front of the body, squeezing through the back of the body. And then exhale, squeezing through the front of the body and opening up the back of the body. Pressing your upper back up as high as you can. Again, inhale, lift up. And exhale, roll under. Let's do this through a few times. This may feel quite nice for your body to roll between these 2 positions. You may find you need to hold one of the positions for a breath or 2. So go for it if you feel that is good for your body at this point in time. All right, let's move through 2 more times. Once you've finished your last one, just return your spine back to a neutral position. All right, staying here on hands and knees, we're just going to move from side to side now. So start to turn your gaze over your left and squeeze the left shoulder and hip towards each other. So squeezing through the left side, opening the right side. Then inhale, we come back to center, and exhale, let's squeeze through the right side of the body and open up the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Okay, so moving in your own time again, just gently moving with that breath, squeezing each side of the body, opening up the opposite side as you squeeze. All right, once more to each side. And inhale, come back to center. All right, then from here, step your hands out as far forward as you can. Take a big inhalation, reach out through the fingers, and then exhale, start to soften down and bring your forehead towards the ground. If your forehead doesn't quite reach the ground, that's okay. Just stay where you can come to comfortably. Make sure that your hips are staying over the knees and that you continue to reach out through the arms so those elbows are lifting away from the ground. This is a nice way just to start to open up the shoulders, the arms. Let's take a couple of more breaths here. And then with your next inhalation, lifting back up, sliding your hands back underneath the shoulders, and then let's drop our bottom to the heels. Extend the arms out again and forehead towards the ground. You can let your elbows rest on the ground this time. And feel free to take your knees out as wide as you need. Just let your torso sink down between the legs. Letting the backs of your hips go heavy. Reaching the backs of the hips down towards the heels. Alright, inhale, making your way back up onto hands and knees. Alright, just one more position on hands and knees. This one's going to be probably a little bit more dynamic than some of the poses we've done so far. So starting to bring some more energy into the body. So let's extend out through the right leg. Press out through the heel of your foot and your toes are pointing down towards the ground. Start to draw in through the belly and press through the hands to keep the chest lifted. So inhale here, slight gaze forward, and then exhale, start to roll under. Draw that knee and chest towards each other, and then inhale, reach back. Exhale, roll under. For those of you that feel you have a little bit more energy, you can also add the arm into this, so you can extend out through the left arm. As you exhale, bring the elbow and knee towards each other, round through the spine, and inhale, extend out. We'll do two more. And then inhale, reaching out nice and long. And exhale, bring the hand down, bring the knee down. If you need to, have a little rest in child's pose, otherwise just stay on hands and knees. All right, let's come to the other side. So extending out through the left leg, pressing out through the heel of the foot, toes point down, slight draw up and in through the belly. Inhale, slight gaze forward, exhale, roll under, knee towards the chest, round through your back. Inhale, reach forward again. Exhale, rolling under. For those of you that wish to add the arm into this as well, go for it, reach through that right arm. Exhale, roll under, knee and elbow toward each other. Inhale. Two more, exhale. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, drawing under, and then inhale, drawing forward again, and exhale, hands down, knees down, and bottom to the heels. Let's all take child's pose. So again, letting the backs of your hips go heavy, letting your forehead go heavy. Alright, then inhale, starting to lift back up and then come over into a sitting position. Alright, Right, let's bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. You may like to take your hands behind you, press into the fingertips and use this to lift and lengthen your spine. Or you may like to take the hands, gently clasp them around your toes. So lifting tall here through the spine and just letting gravity press down against those knees so you're not forcing the knees down. Just come into that complete yoga breathing here. That breath should come easily, the front of the body nice and open. All right, let's take 2 more long deep breaths here. All right, then with your next inhalation, gently releasing your hands, draw your knees together and release your legs out in front of you. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. All right, for this next one, I'm just going to turn side on so that you can see what's going on for this next one. So if you have troubles with your knees, I will give you another option. So if you feel any pain or discomfort through either of your knees, don't do this next one and just wait for me to give you the second option. So this first option is to kick the left foot around the outside of the left hip. Roll that calf muscle away and then make sure that both of your sit bones can come even onto the ground. Extend out through that right leg and draw your toes back towards you. So if you're feeling comfortable through the knee, if both hips are even on the ground, you're good for this one. Then you can just start to gently ease yourself back, come back onto the elbows, lift those hips, tuck them under a little bit more, and start to press up through the chest, and maybe your gaze can come upward as well. Some of you may be able to come down flat onto the ground, or if you've got a large cushion nearby that you can place underneath your spine, you can also do that. So this is a really gentle way to come into a back arch, so you're opening the chest and you're starting to open up the front of the thigh. So for those of you that are not feeling comfortable in this position, get you to come back up and come over into a lunge position. So just walk that left foot back a little bit more, untuck the toes, hands to the ground. Now for this one, because we do want to encourage some length through the spine, keep your chest lifted, so stay up on your hands. So chest is lifted, gaze is forward. So you can also almost get a slight back arch in here as well. Alright, so whichever position that you're in, let's take 3 more breaths. Okay, then with your next inhalation, for those of you that are back on your elbows, I'll get you to gently press yourself back up and release that left leg out. For those of you that are in the lunge position, just gently press your hips back and then bring that right foot back underneath the hip and step your left foot forward and come into that lunge. All right, for those of you that are doing, this is hero pose with the foot to the outside of the hip, just bring that right foot around. Make sure there's no discomfort in the knee or in the hips, and hips are even down onto the ground. And when you're ready, come back onto the elbows. Make sure your left foot is flexed. Tuck those hips under a little bit more. Press up through the chest. Maybe gazes upward, maybe gazes forward, but just keep that chest gently lifting. And for those of you that can come down further, go for it. Take it as far as you need. Make sure that it's reasonably comfortable for your body and that you're not overstraining, and you're not experiencing any pain. You're just tuning into your breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Good. With your next inhalation, for those of you that are back on your elbows, gently pressing yourself back up. For those of you in the lunge, reach your hips back nice and slowly, and then come back onto hands and knees, and then everyone coming down into a sitting position once again. All right, so both legs straight out in front. We're going to come into a forward fold from here, so a couple of options again for the legs. So first option is to draw the left foot in and place that foot to the inside of the thigh. You can let this knee rest out to the side. If it's a bit of a distance from the ground, just slide a cushion or a block or something underneath the knee to support the leg so you don't get any discomfort through the hips. For those of you that were okay with practicing the last position, you can again kick that foot around so it's the outside of the hip. All right, so make sure those hips are even on the ground in whichever position that you're in. Let's inhale, reach up through the arms, take a big breath in, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, tip forward from your hips. Let that movement purely come from the hips, and then just reach your hands down to wherever they may come. So for some of you, that'll just be hands on the ground, either side of the shin. That's okay. It is still, towards the beginning of the class, so you may still feel quite a bit of tightness through the back of the leg. And for others, you may find you can easily reach for your foot. So just let your gaze be downward slightly. Let's take one more breath here. And then with your next inhalation, release your hands, gently making your way back up and releasing the left leg out. Bring that right foot in, so that first option, foot to the inside of the thigh, then knee out to the side, and placing any supporting things that you may have underneath that knee if you need that. Otherwise, flicking that foot around to the outside of the hip. When you're ready, inhale, reach up through the arms, grow tall through the spine, and then exhale, tipping from the hips. So just see how that movement for me is just coming from the hips, and then release the hands down. So you're not letting your hands guide how far down you can come, you're letting your hips guide. And this is a much safer way to come into forward folds for your lower back. So hands just to wherever they may reach. And breathe nice and deeply. The backs of the legs really respond to deep breathing, and you'll find that tension that you've got going on in there will just really start to dissipate when you really focus on that deep breathing. And you have the added benefit of drawing fresh energy supply into the body. Prana, or this chi, helps to keep our body nice and vital. So this breathing really helps with that. All right, one more breath. And then inhale, gently making your way back up and releasing the leg out, giving the legs a bit of a shake if they need. All right, from here we're going to come over onto our bellies, so just making your way down. So from here we're just going to practice some gentle back arches. So I'll get you to slide your elbows underneath the shoulders, hands reaching out in front of you. Now just start to draw your belly in and up, and then allow the chest to lift and let your gaze lift. Finding a gaze point out in front of you that is comfortable for your neck. Reach long back through the legs and take a couple of breaths here. If you're feeling any discomfort through the lower back, feel free to drop into child's pose. Take a couple of breaths and then maybe ease back into this position. From here, we're going to work with our breath. So just see how you go with this one. If it doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can just stay in this position that we're in currently. But as you inhale, press into the hands, start to lift the elbows away and come up a little bit higher. And then exhale, lower back down. We're going to do this 4 more times. Inhale, gently lifting, and exhale to lower. Inhale, making your way back up, and exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, and exhale. 1 more. Inhale, and exhale, lower. And then from here, take your elbows out wide. Rest your hands one on top of the other. Forehead to the hands, and take a breath or 2. Alright, bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press up onto hands and knees. And from here we're going to come up into our first downward dog. So it's taken us half an hour to get into downward dog. This is probably a record for my class, and especially for those of you that do Ben's classes, that's definitely a record. Alright, coming up high onto the balls of the feet, lift up high through the hips. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears, and then start to press those heels down and away. So if you have been feeling tired, hopefully you're starting to notice a bit of a difference already in your body. Hopefully it's starting to feel a little bit more refreshed and energized. So from here, I'll get you just to step your left foot up in between the hands, drop down into the back knee. Let's inhale, reach up through the arms, and exhale, just come into a lunge. Inhale, lift tall through the spine, and then exhale, bring the palms together. And we're going to rotate around and bring that right elbow to the outside of the knee and gently twist around there. Take your gaze to wherever it's comfortable for your neck. You can gaze past the back elbow. Just let those hips release a little and lengthen along the right side of your spine. 1 more breath. And then inhale, make your way back to center. And exhale, hands down, step back, downward dog. Alright, feel free to walk your legs out here in downward dog, just releasing one heel down at a time towards the ground. And then both heels towards the ground. 1 more breath here. And then stepping up through your right foot and drop that left knee down. Untuck the back toes. Let's inhale, reach up through the arms. And exhale, soften down through the hips. Inhale, lift tall here. And then exhale, hands together in front of the heart. And bring that left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Gently twisting around there, turning your gaze past your elbow if that's comfortable for the neck. So a little softness down through the hips and lengthening along the left side of your torso. Nice steady breathing here. The breath will be a little bit more shallow because the belly is compressed. That's okay. Just breathe as steadily as you can. Alright, 1 more breath. And then inhale, coming back to center. And exhale, hands to the ground, step back, downward dog. So if there's been a bit of congestion going on around the spine, doing some twisting positions, you may notice afterwards you feel some nice sensations around the spine, and that's just bringing all that blood flow, that energy flow more particularly to come more easily without any blockages. Alright, let's walk those feet up towards the hands. Take a little bend into your knees and come into a forward fold, just letting the head hang. And then press firmly into the feet and start to roll your spine upwards. Take a big reach up through the arms, big breath in. And exhale, release your hands to your sides. take a moment here in Tadasana. So pressing firmly into the feet, lifting tall up out of your feet, your foundation. Often through the shoulders, gentle reach with the fingers. Let's just work a little bit more with breath and movement. So inhale, reach up through the arms, gazing upward towards the hands. And then exhale, tipping from the hips, release down over your legs. And then inhale, come to a halfway lift, hands to the shins or the thighs. And exhale, soften down again. Inhale, make your way back up, big reach at the top. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's continue through with this movement. Inhale, reach up. Extend through the fingers and then exhale, moving from your hips, tipping down. Maybe a bend into the knees as you come down. Inhale, up to your halfway lift. Reach through the crown of the head, reach back through the hips. Exhale to lower. Inhale, making your way back up. And exhale, hands to your heart. We'll do one more just like this. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, tipping from the hips, a little bend into the knees if you need, if the lower back is feeling sensitive. And see if you can plant your hands all the way down onto the ground, bend your knees deeply. And then inhale, hands to the shins or the thighs, chest lifting. Exhale, palms down to the ground. And then inhale, lift up, extend up, and then exhale, hands to the heart. All right, this time we'll add some lunges and a vinyasa. We're just going to do a couple of these, so we're not going to overdo it or spend a lot of time doing sun salutes, but just enough to really get that energy flowing easily through every part of our body. And sun salutes are great if you are feeling stagnant. So let's inhale, lift up. Exhale, tipping from the hips, release down. Palms down, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to the ground, step back, right foot, lower the knee to the ground. Inhale, reach up through your lunge, soften through the hips, exhale, release into the hips. Inhale, growing tall, lifting up out of the hips, and then exhale, hands down, step back into downward dog. And then inhale through to plank. Feel free to drop to the knees straight away if you need. And then exhale, knees to the ground and gently lowering yourself down. Hands underneath the shoulders or back in line with the chest. Inhale, gently peel away from the ground, not too high. Exhale, lower down. And then inhale, press back up to downward dog. Exhale there. And then inhale, lift and reach up through the right leg. Bend into the knee, heel to the bottom. Open your knee out to the side. The three-legged dog. And inhale, reach straighten through that right leg. And swing that foot up in between the hands. And drop down onto the left knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, make your way up into your lunge. Exhale there. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, hands down, step forward. Release into your forward fold, maybe palms to the ground here. Inhale, take your halfway lift, long spine, long through the legs. Exhale, release all the way down, palms down again. Inhale, reach your hands up, growing tall, press firmly into the feet. And exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to continue through just one more time. Inhale, reach the hands around. Maybe a little back arch this time if you're feeling comfortable with that. And then exhale, gently tipping forward, release down, palms to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, long legs. Exhale, hands down. Step back, left leg, knee to the ground. Inhale, reach up through the arms. Exhale into your lunge. Inhale, growing tall up out of those hips, and then exhale, palms down, downward dog. And then coming through our vinyasa here, inhale, forward to plank. For those of you that are feeling pretty energized, you're welcome to come down through chaturanga, otherwise release to the ground. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, pressing back, downward dog. Breath or two here in downward dog. And then inhale, let's lift and reach up through the left leg. Bend the knee, heel to the bottom, open your knee out to the side. Three-legged dog. Inhale, re-straighten. Exhale, step that foot up in between the hands. Lower down to the back knee. Inhale, make your way up. Exhale into that lunge. Inhale, lifting tall. Exhale, hands down. Make your way forward into that standing forward fold, palms down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, reach your arms up around the body, extending up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Reground into the feet, release your hands to your sides. Maybe closing your eyes and just taking a breath or two here. Alright, when you're ready, reopening your eyes. We're going to come into a balanced position, just a nice gentle tree pose. So if you have trouble with balance, feel free to move over towards a wall so you can use the wall for support. But start to ground down through the right foot. And your left foot can either rest against the ankle, the calf muscle, or up into your thigh. Okay, take your hands together in front of your heart, planting firmly down through that standing leg. Feel your inner thigh, the right inner thigh, activate and draw up. Slight lift up through the pelvic floor and along the spine. Feel free to keep the hands at the heart, or if you prefer to, you can reach your arms out. One more breath here. And then exhale, release your hands down and release the foot down. Let's come to the other side. So starting with ankle, calf or thigh. Foot and leg firmly against each other, hands to the heart. Taking a moment to steady yourself, finding your focus, finding your balance. And then tuning into that nice long deep breathing. Feeling the inner thigh of the left leg activate underneath the foot if you have the foot in the thigh. And then feel free to reach those arms out. Take them out wide so you can keep that chest nice and open and that breath moving easily and freely. Alright, one more breath. And then exhale, release your hands down, release your foot down very gracefully, like as if you meant it. Alright, from here we're going to step back with our left leg. We're going to do Trikonasana triangle pose. So lining those heels up with each other. Your back foot, it can be helpful to have your toes turned in just slightly. It does make this position a little bit more accessible when you do that. Hands to the hips. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, press back through that right hip. So use your right hand to press that hip back. Keep pressing it all the way back. And as you do that, your torso will start to tip out of the hips. And then you can slide your right hand down to wherever you may reach. And then reach up through the left hand. So if you're feeling tired, just keep that hand on the shin, but make sure you're not collapsing down into it. Stay a little bit active, so press the hand and the leg against each other. If you have a block, you can also rest your hand on the block. But if you're feeling a little bit more energized, take your hand to the inside of the leg to work those core muscles a little bit more. Gazing wherever it's comfortable for your neck. And one more breath. And then inhale, a little bend into that front knee, making your way up. Release the hands. And then just adjusting your feet so you're now facing the opposite direction and you have your left foot facing forward. So same thing, that right foot slightly turned in, hands to the hips. Inhale here. Exhale, jam that left hand into the hip crease. Press those hips back. Reach your torso forward. You're active through both inner thighs here. And then left hand comes down to where it may reach. Right hand reaches up. So hand against the shin or the thigh. If you're feeling a little bit more tired, but make sure you're not collapsing down. Stay a little bit active through that arm. Or take the hand to the inside of the leg. Keep reaching your hips back behind. You may feel a bit of a stretch around the side body there. You may also feel it on the inner seam of the thighs. Alright, one more breath. And inhale, a little bend into the front knee, make your way back up and release your hands. And swiveling on your feet now so that you're facing the long edge of your mat. And just have your toes slightly turned in and the heels slightly out. Hands back onto the hips. Inhale, lift tall. And exhale, tipping from your hips, gently easing yourself down. If you can, take the hands towards the ground. If you're having a little bit of trouble reaching the ground, you're welcome to bend into your knees to make it more accessible for yourself. And just let the head hang. Keep reaching out into the feet. Taking one more breath here. And then inhale, start to lift back up to halfway. Swiveling on your feet and walking your hands around so you come up onto the toes of the back foot and you bend into your right knee so you're in a lunge position, a high lunge position this time. Left hand to the inside of the foot and inhale, reach up through the right arm. Gaze up towards that top hand or out to the side, whichever is accessible for your neck and shoulders. Keep reaching back through that back heel. One more breath. And then exhale, release that hand down, swiveling on your feet around to the other side. So you're now in a lunge with the left foot facing forward. Right hand to the inside of the foot there. Inhale, reach up through the left arm. Reaching back through that back heel. Gazing to where it's comfortable for your neck. And then with your exhalation, releasing down, swiveling on your feet again so that you are facing now the front of your mat. And gently ease yourself back into a downward dog. Lifting those hips up and back behind you. From here, we are going to come into child's pose. Knees to the ground. And hips bottom towards the heels. Walk your hands out in front of you, forward towards the ground. Alright, next inhale, come back up onto hands and knees. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. From here, I'll get you to step your left hand a little bit more forward off the right. Reach your right arm underneath the body, reach it out to the side and come down onto the shoulder. Turn your head to face that same direction as the hand, but make sure that you're resting up on the temple towards the top and the side of your head. Walk that left arm out in front of you as far forward as you can, and just let that left shoulder drop down. This is a nice way to start to open up the upper back whilst doing a gentle twist. Taking a couple of breaths here. Alright, then inhale, bring that hand back underneath the shoulder, press into the hand, gently ease yourself back up onto hands and knees. Alright, let's do the other side. So step your right hand forward, reach your left arm underneath, come down onto the shoulder, turn onto the side of your head. Walk that right arm out over in front of you as far as you can and drop down through that right shoulder, opening up the upper back. Breathing steadily. All right, one more breath here. And then inhale, slide your right hand back underneath the shoulder, press into that hand and gently ease yourself back up. Just come onto hands and knees just for the moment, just to let your spine be even and steady. All right, from here we're going to come down onto our bellies once again and just do a little bit of work to open up through the front of the shoulders. So from here, take your left arm out to the side, take it on a 90-degree angle so that arm is out in line with the shoulder. Have a look at that. And then I'm going to get you to slide that hand up so it's more on the 45-degree angle. So it's more at between 10 and 11 o'clock if you're looking at the dial of the clock. From here, start to roll the crease of your elbow and the front of your shoulder down towards the ground so that your arm is flat on the ground. Right hand is underneath the shoulder. And you're going to start to press into that right hand and roll yourself over onto the left side. Now for some of you may find you just need to bend through the knees, stack the knees one on top of the other, and you're getting a nice good stretch there through the front of the shoulder. For others you may find you can take that top foot and rest that foot on the ground to get a little bit further into that shoulder. Take a few breaths here. You can keep the head up or you can release the head to the ground. It's just whatever you prefer for your comfort level. A really good shoulder opening here. Similar to what you would do up against a wall, but just a little bit more pressure through here. One more breath. Alright, inhale, make your way back to center, nice and slowly. And then bringing that left hand underneath the shoulder. Your right arm, take it straight out to the side on that 90-degree angle. Have a look at it. So it's now at the 3 o'clock position. So I'm going to get you to slide that arm up so it's halfway between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So more on the 45-degree angle. Then continue to observe your arm as you roll the crease of the elbow down into the ground, toward the ground, and you'll find the top of your shoulder, front of your shoulder rolls towards the ground as well. Then press into the left hand, start to roll over. You can either take that left foot to the ground behind you, or you can bend to the knees, keep them stacked one on top of the other. Head can be lifted or head to the ground. And take some breaths here. Feel free to close your eyes. breaths. And then with your next inhalation, gently rolling yourself back to center. Taking both hands underneath the shoulders, press up to hands and knees. And into your child's pose. You can let your elbows bend towards the ground now. Just letting your body start to go a little heavier. And then inhale, start to make your way back up, easing yourself up, and just come over to sit in a cross-legged position. Just have your hands on your knees with your palms face down, and soften your shoulders down away from the ears. Gently close your eyes. We're going to do 5 breaths here, and then we're going to come into Shavasana. So in your own time. Once you finish your 5 breaths, just gently making your way down onto your backs nice and slowly. Extending your legs out to each corners of the mat. Turn your palms to face open towards the ceiling. And just let your whole body go heavy into the ground. No longer controlling your breath, no longer controlling your body. Just letting your entire body really rest now and consolidate this practice that we have done. So relaxing down through the back of your hands, your shoulders, arms, along your spine, your hips, through the legs, and out into the feet. And softening your facial expression, chest and shoulders. You're just letting your belly gently rise and fall with your breath. Minimal effort. Softening around the front of the hips, the front of the legs, and the tops of the feet and the toes. Letting your entire body rest and relax. onto your body. Bring a little bit of movement into the fingers, the toes. Perhaps rolling your head from one side to the other. Feel free to take a big stretch by reaching out through the arms, take them over your head, reach through the fingers, reach out into the toes. And then start to roll yourself out to your right side. Coming into the recovery position. Take a breath or so there. And then making your way up into a sitting position. Alright, sitting comfortably whilst we engage in some meditation. So, meditation is one of the most effective ways for clearing, cleansing our minds. So often, we have physical exhaustion, physical tiredness, but we also have mental tiredness. So we can refresh ourselves, mind, body and soul by engaging in some kirtan. So if it's your first time doing kirtan, it's a call and responsive mantra. We use the mantra Om Hari Om. So I will chant this mantra through twice, and then when it's your turn I'll let you know, and you can chant that mantra back and just rest your mind in that sound vibration. So it's simple to do, but just let your mind focus on that sound. Your turn. Last one together. Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om. Just taking in a couple of deep breaths here. Your hands come together in front of the heart. I hope you're feeling a little bit more refreshed and you feel like you have a little bit more energy as well. So thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.